How's it going, everyone? Dr. Fauci here to report that Aristotle has died because he went to Florida. And they don't follow the recommendations of the CDC for the coof, you see. So I'm here to tell you he is dead, and you need to not expect him ever again.
And just like that, it's ruined.
Well, I mean, that was always what Dr. Fauci wanted anyway, so...
Ari's death.
No, general ruin.
Excellent. So, welcome to the show on VTWProductions.com and YouTube.com. I am your host, Venurian, to derail things.
I am Aristotle for realsies. Fauci did not actually kill me, although he has tried many times.
What you really need to do is wear 3 masks.
Triple mask, quadruple mask!
And be vaccinated.
Twice. Because that's how vaccines work.
That's not at all how vaccines work.
Didn't Bill Maher get the coof, though, after having...
Yeah, he did.
Yes, he did.
Oh, we're already cancelled.
We're completely cancelled and completely off script as is already.
Right,
Didn't
and
y'all
I'm
miss me?
Volasel. I am Volasel. I'm still Volasel. I did not completely lose my voice after last week's grand suffering, for which I blame these two. But we are here. We're here to bring you the latest news and commentary on the video games industry for the week, or we would if the video games industry had done anything. So now that I have these two back, there's no news anymore.
Figures.
Obviously.
That's how it
But
works.
if you'd like to get involved with the show, you can do so by sending us email at noexcusesvtw@gmail.com, or you can follow us on the Twitter at noexcusesvtw. Or you can join us in our Discord server, which you can access by clicking on the link provided in the description underneath the archive of the show on YouTube. You know, if you don't mind the fact that Discord has rebranded itself and now just looks kind of crap and stupid and
Yeah,
dumb.
I saw the
bad.
message about that. What have they actually changed?
They got rid of the blurple and replaced it with a boring variant on that colour. They've changed the font so now it looks like a Cartoon Network show, and they've modified the logo a little bit so now it looks like Mickey Mouse's pants.
It
And
already looks like Mickey Mouse's pants.
It looks even more like Mickey Mouse's pants, and generally speaking, it has been received negatively by basically everybody.
Because
And-
these things always go over badly, and what they expect anything different?
The thing that I understand is that, and this doesn't seem to be something that any marketing person ever considers, is that the purpose of branding is recognition.
Yeah.
So, if the purpose of branding is recognition, why change what a thing looks like to ensure people can't recognize it?
So,
Like,
yeah.
people are very, very familiar with Discord Blurple.
Discord Blurple and their slightly lopsided pants controller.
Yeah. But nobody wants this new sort of bluish purple as opposed to the traditional blurple.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, there is a difference.
Yes, there very much is a difference.
So, yeah. Okay, there are times that well, not necessarily rebranding, but giving your brand a facelift does work. This is not one of them.
You only rebrand if something has gone horribly wrong.
Usually, yeah. Usually, like, your current brand is so horrendously out of date, people are actually being offended by it. Well, you know, the Twitter brigade comes for you. So, anyway, on the stream today, I'm going to be playing a bit of Starbase Startopia, which is a... I'm going to call it a sequel to Startopia. Even though it technically isn't, I guess. The whole idea is basically to build up a thriving tourist mecca on what is called a Stanford tourist space station. The big old space donut.
Was that the sort of the spinny rotating one that generates gravity via centrifugal force?
That's the one. The one which I believe has been proven not to actually work, but, you know.
Yeah, it was definitely that was a sci-fi writer's idea and not like a scientific idea in any way.
It had enough credibility to be worth investigating, but yeah, it turned out, no, it doesn't work.
Works at the carnival.
Works at the carnival. Not in space. And not on that sort of scale. So yeah, it's a fun game. They've gone... they've kept a lot of things from the original game that works, like a lot of the old races and how everything's very fairly light and silly. Unfortunately, they do have the obligatory sarcastic AI, which seems to be like law now. If you have an AI personality, it's got to be some sort of sarcastic psychopath.
Yeah, that's going to start to get old, I think.
It already has. It really already has.
Like, you can only hear the cake is a lie so many times.
Exactly. It worked for GLaDOS. It doesn't work for everyone. So, yeah, you kind of start off with your free, 1 section and 3 floors in free play mode. Each of the 3 floors is for something different. Like the basement floor is for basically basic facilities and entertainment going up, and then your bio deck, which is usually filled with carnivorous plants. Because everyone likes carnivorous plants. So yeah, it's a fun little game. It can be a bit frustrating because sometimes aliens will just get stuck in places and refuse to go and actually satisfy their needs because they're too busy, I don't know, contemplating the meaning of a Slurpee machine or something.
This sounds like Theme Hospital.
It does a bit, doesn't it? I wouldn't be surprised if there was actually some overlap between the creative staff between Startopia and Theme Hospital. There's a lot of thematic overlap. So it's a fun game. It actually came out a couple of months ago, and I hadn't even noticed it. It's been one I'd been looking out for a while. So I'm probably going to do this absolutely awfully, but we'll see. I've actually got to figure out how to do free play now. So, yeah. As for weeks, let's just dive straight in. My last few weeks have been absolute torture.
Yeah, I haven't seen you at all since I got back. You just
I usually, I feel like I am writing letters to a pen pal rather than sending instant messages.
Yeah.
Because there's usually about a 12-hour separation between me sending Fern a message and getting a reply.
And it's because I've been stuck working and longing for the sweet release of death.
And humming Waltzing Matilda to yourself.
Ugh. Why? Why do you do these things?
Because you, collectively, as Australians, did this to the rest of the world.
That's actually fair. So yeah, it's been an endless cycle of just basically work, and in the case of last week, everything going horrifically wrong to the point where I spent Friday stuck in bed, sick and dreadful.
Oh, you too?
No, you got that from Aristeel.
I actually got it from my niece by proxy.
Oh, so I got it from you.
Possibly. Normally, we actually have to have some sort of contact in order to.
No.
Our bond transcends the internet.
Oh, don't say that.
You see, everything about our ability to pass diseases over the internet, we have noted, does not follow any logic, rhyme, or reason.
Absolutely, it doesn't.
But when one of us gets sick, inevitably, at least one of the others will be sick by the end of the next 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. On the plus side, though, next week I might be coming in and telling everyone how a toddler made an entire town sick. So that could be fun.
I see.
Look at a waterworm.
Now it sounds like Dwarf Fortress.
It does a bit, doesn't it? This is... Well, I won't say it's a good thing, but it's Dwarf Fortress. So, you know, everything has just gone terribly wrong.
I was helping Vol out in this kill, and it actually was fairly profitable. I got a Mitsuzune gem and a plate.
Nice.
That was nice.
I don't get gems and plates.
Yeah. But
that's the first gem I got.
Over the last few weeks, I have actually also been able to participate in 3 different closed betas. Well, 2 closed, 1 open. The first one I can't talk about a whole lot because it's all under NDA, but I did get an invite to what I'm going to call Pikmin Go because they haven't actually named the thing yet.
This sounds awful.
It's bad. It's really bad. So, I'm going to keep it vague, but Pokemon Go, even in its early stages, you could go into the beta test and you could actually do something. And usually that was involved wandering around and collecting Pokemon and wondering what on earth you're supposed to do with this Master Ball that they've given you. But Pikmin Go, it's like you get a Pikmin. And there is absolutely no reason why this thing is tied to your location. It's like you take a certain number of steps and your Pikmin grows. And it might find fruit. which you use to grow more Pikmin. Repeat, repeat, repeat. So it's just blah and boring, and I don't want any. I played maybe half an hour of it, and that was it.
Well, that doesn't even have like the appeal that Pokemon Go did.
No,
Pokemon Go made you get up and go run around with your friends because you wanted to find all the Pokemon in the secret government base over there that for some reason was tagged 30 times.
exactly. Half the appeal was just getting out there with your friends and, seeing bits of your town you might not necessarily have, and probably find a Pokemon there as well.
And get arrested.
And they get arrested for trespassing on a military base. So, yeah.
The arrested is important, I think. I think that was part of the core experience.
That was part of the day one experience, definitely.
My friend said that there was a group in his home city of Tauranga. There was a group that he referred to as the Pokemon Maoris. And
yeah.
they were a bunch of Maoris who became obsessed with Pokemon Go. And their goal was to obtain a waka so that they could go out to the island in the middle of the lake and get the Pokemon there.
I mean, there's been dumber things.
I think that they did manage, in fact, to get a waka and go out to the island.
Yeah. There's dumber things, like when Ingress was the big thing. There was someone who flew, I think it was from New York to Sendai, and then to... where was it now? Somewhere south, anyway. Just so they could make a zone over the Pacific Ocean.
Well, I mean, it would have been a very profitable one for their team.
Yeah, definitely.
And for those on whom it is lost, a waka is a traditional Maori war canoe.
Yeah. People take their Pokemon Go a little bit too seriously when you're considering war canoes. So yeah, I'm not going to talk more about that one because, frankly, it was just dreadful. The next one I played was Elion, which is by Cacao, the guys who, until recently, ran Black Desert Online. I'm not sure if I like this game. There's stuff I should like, but I kind of don't. The problem is that it throws a lot of systems at you. Like, a lot. Very early on. You play through the tutorial, well, the prologue, I guess you call it. So your character actually starts out at level 20. Out of 20 levels. Out of 40 levels.
Rewind. When you say they have a lot of systems they throw at you, do you mean PSO2 levels?
I'm taking worse than PSO2 levels.
That's kind of impressive in a way.
It's BDO levels.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, yeah, you start at level 20, and I'm not sure why, but they assume that, okay, you're level 20 now, so you should know what you're doing. So here is item enhancement, here is item enchantment, here is pets, here is mounts, here is this, here is that. Enjoy! We're not going to tell you how any of this works, just go. At least they don't have race class restrictions, which is a good thing, considering it's a Korean MMO and they just love that sort of crap.
You seem to be disproportionately against it, to be honest. It seems to be a real bugbear of yours.
I find it really annoying when they just, for arbitrary reasons, restrict what kind of character you can make. Like, if I want to make a tiny little cat animal who wields a stupidly big axe, I should be able to. But I can't in a lot of Eastern games.
The sword's too heavy.
But who cares? It's stupid and ridiculous, and I want to make a cat with a giant axe. Why can't I do that? I tell you why, it's because they got too lazy and they didn't want to animate all the extra armors.
No, it's because that development time is going to important things like Ellen swimsuits.
And cash shop things, yes. So, it is just a sign of, I guess, lazy development to me. Like, they didn't want to invest the time to make it so anyone can play whatever they want.
I would say I think that there is a reasonable exception to that, and that reasonable exception is when you're working within the constraints of an extant IP, where a combination would be irrational.
Yeah, which is why WoW go around it for the most part, because a lot of their class restrictions made sense.
No, they didn't.
In past tense, they did. Until they decide
No.
they're going to crap all over their lore and retcon everything into the ground.
No. The biggest one that always was a bugbear with me was freaking Blood Elves. Yes. Warrior. They had the Naru, and that's why they have paladins. But why don't they also have warriors? We see the warriors sitting there guarding Sun, whatever the city is.
Yeah, that
No,
was
those,
dumb.
those are spellbreakers.
They're spellbreakers. Still, that was dumb. Like, warrior
that
is
is
the vanilla of the vanilla classes.
like all paladins have some warrior in them. Probably they probably had to go to House Swing Sword Good School. Like, come on.
The issue is that they specifically, from what I heard of the chatter originally, is that they specifically wanted to create a popular race with no warriors, basically to find out what would happen. Because you got to remember, at that point, there
Warriors
was
were the
no
only
tank.
tanks.
There was no tank that was not a warrior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they also knew everyone is going to play a blood elf, so this was basically them seeing what would happen.
Yeah. Like, at that point, your choices, you had tank, you had warriors and you had paladins if you're on the alliance who could tank. Shaman couldn't tank, so that wasn't an option.
Paladins
Or it
couldn't
was just
tank.
warriors.
Paladins couldn't tank.
No, paladins couldn't tank.
They really couldn't. They were crap at it. So,
It was amusing though with the older proc paladin builds when somebody would try and gank you and then your zeal would just proc over and over again and you would turn them into ground chuck.
Yeah, that was fun.
I mean, normally that didn't happen. Normally it was just a very, very slow fight with an eventual winner. But occasionally it would just be zeal proc, zeal proc, zeal proc, zeal proc.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So
I presume I inherited that one from Diablo.
So yeah, that's always just been a bugbear of mine. Is I just hate being restricted like that, unless it makes real good sense. And I hate to tell you this, but Korean MMO's writing is nowhere near good enough for it to make any sense ever.
I ain't gonna try and defend Korean MMO writing.
Because you shouldn't. Because you can't.
But it has Ellen swimsuits.
And you're using that as a defense.
I don't see how this is not a defense. It clearly works.
It's clearly an offense to all basic decency.
I need an
Yes.
adult.
I need an adult.
Praise the Sky Whale.
The Sky Whale saves all, but the Sky Whale does not forgive. You don't deserve the Sky Whale's forgiveness. What the hell are we talking about?
I don't know. I'm making Izuchi Tree heavy crossbows to try these out.
Fair enough. So yeah,
I
it's
like the heavy bowgun, but I'm very bad with it. Like, very, very bad with it. But it's great fun.
yeah.
I feel like it would be fun in a group. That's why I'm making it now, so I can have y'all be stuck with it. Oh, I can't make them down tails.
Yeah.
I need 3 tails?
Oh, enjoy. You're never gonna get those, like ever.
Well,
I got
to
one.
be fair, like, I think that, wasn't it that Izuchi heavy bowgun literally has 3 tails visibly on it?
I think it does. Yeah.
It's entirely plausible.
You actually see them. You gotta put them in.
Yeah, I can see them on the bowgun that I'm trying to make. God dang it, video game. All
See,
right,
it's entirely justified by the law. Go get 3 tails.
I only got 1, though. I can go get 2 more.
We need to chop some asses up.
Anyway, where were we? Elian. Speaking of the writing in Elian, him bad.
Well, you can't spell alien without Ellen.
Why? Why you ruin everything?
What? What did you expect?
I need an adult.
You placed something before these people with whom you've been doing a show for a decade, and what outcome did you expect?
I'm honestly not sure. I honestly don't know what I expected. Anywho, the story is something time travel, is from what I can understand. You get blasted into the question mark future because your airship explodes because stuff happens on it. And then you spend the rest of your time being chased around by a rather bossy bitch in her pajamas and her father who, frankly, does not want to be anywhere in this universe. He's actually kind of interesting. He's got a haircut like he belongs in the court of King Louis, and he talks in a complete monotone at all times. I'm not sure if this is just terrible voice acting or a masterstroke of genius. But yeah, don't even bother with the story because I have no idea what's going on with it. I played with a few people. They have got some group content. I'm quite actually interested in both the solo dungeons, which are kind of fun actually, and they got small group dungeons like your 3 persons and then 5 person above that, which is good. But from what I can tell, once you hit about level 30, then the game takes a sharp turn into forced PvP town, which is never a good thing. Never, ever, ever a good thing.
That sounds just absolutely like the best time, Fern.
Yeah. So yeah, I was playing with a couple of people who are rather excited for it. They're not so excited for it anymore. They've rather cooled off on it. Maybe they'll fix stuff before the next beta because this is only closed beta 1. But yeah, they got some work to do. Whoopsie! I just killed a person.
Oh dear.
Well, I didn't kill him. He actually just dropped dead on his own. It's his own fault, and he's probably had a chest burster. Because those are a thing in this game.
We could try and do something else while we do weeks if you want. I don't know how well it'll go though.
Carry on. It's just a mindless, faceless alien NPC. The other game I played was Bless Unleashed. Now, I went into this expecting a dog sandwich, frankly. I'm going to say I was pleasantly surprised by it being actually playable. But that's not to mean to say it's actually really good, because it's not. Bless was the game that launched on PC and was like 2 months later announced that they were closing. It was that bad. It was tab targeting at its absolute worst.
It was one standard unit generic MMO with Korean aesthetics.
Yes. Bad ones.
The DJ Maxx publisher published that one.
Yeah, they did. I believe it's actually under a new publisher now. So this is, I believe, their 3rd attempt to launch this MMO. The second being on PS4 and Xbox, where, it was playable if you enjoyed 1.5 second input lag.
I don't actually enjoy a 1.5 second input lag.
I certainly don't.
Remember our time playing Smash? That was 1.5 second input lag.
Yeah.
That was fun in its own retarded way.
That was actually, it was just bad. But
incidentally, while it occurs to me, I'll just mention that I heard that there was an announcement that FF14 is getting an Oceania server.
Okay, they actually put out their final trailer for the new expansion, by the way, the other day.
I've been avoiding watching that because it makes me feel really sad inside because I haven't played the most recent expansion yet.
Everything about I watched it this morning and it looks so cool. Except for the new DPS class who looks like an edgy Persona user.
Realistically, we already know that edgy classes do real well.
Yeah, they do.
People love the edge.
God, everybody was 13 at some point.
And some people still are.
But I've never met anyone who held their hand over their face like that while speaking.
Going full tuny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Or is that just like visual code and dramatic medium to show that this person is a toonie?
I've seen somebody doing it ironically to mock the toonieisms of stuff.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's a way of signaling what I'm about to do right now is toonie.
Yeah. Oh dear. So I just went up to my entertainment floor and it's full of insects and poop.
Hold on. For a moment, I thought you were talking about your real house.
No, thankfully no.
You do live in Australia and you do have dogs, so...
Yeah, insects and poop can be a very common occurrence.
Ari, what tails do you need?
I'm not going to go for that. I found a cheaper alternative that I can get with a bit more money.
Anyway,
Right.
so yeah, Bless is, again, it's still one generic unit, MMO, but I mean, that's also got the irritating restrictions on class and gender as well, because I wanted to be a cat with a giant axe, but I can't. Actually, you can't be a cat, you can be a monkey. But, yeah, that exists because reasons. The gameplay is... Oh, it's serviceable now. But they seem to have forgotten that, people in Oceania exist, and we don't necessarily want to play on the Asia servers, largely because we want to actually be able to understand what people are saying to us. So there's really no forgiveness for oceanic lag when it comes to move timing. I tried to play the Crusader, and its big mechanic is you can bring your shield up to block like 99% damage in front of you, as long as it's coming in from the front. Otherwise, you're just a sitting duck if it's coming in from behind. But you can't do it. You can't time it to get it up in time to block an attack. If you see the attack coming, it's already too late. A lot of the questing is basically just run around and kill bear asses.
Just
Wait. This
Yeah,
is innovation, Fern. You have to kill the ass?
yeah. Normally, you either collect the ass or you kill the bear.
No, you kill the ass. They did have a rather fun mechanic. Like, I guess they wanted to be ambitious, and in my opinion, they just gave the average pug player too much credit. Where they have some world bosses around the place.
Uh-huh.
And these world bosses have mechanics which are slightly more complex than hit the thing. Basically, they go into a berserk mode, and if you keep attacking them, they stay in the berserk mode. So you need to stop attacking them so they fall out of it.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
That was futile, so they've at least backpedaled on that.
Yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed large scale world bosses in the past. Like I did quite a bit of them in Guild Wars 2, but in Guild Wars 2, the sheer density of people involved meant that the optimal way to fight the boss was always just to zerg the crap out of it and just hope that enough people didn't die.
Yes.
Because it was, while there were real and passably complex mechanics involved, it didn't really matter in the end because there was too much going on for you to see what was happening.
Yep. And in this case, that's another big issue, is these bosses tend to rely on you actually being able to react to what they do, because that's how all the combat is based. You react, you dodge, you block. But if you can't do that reliably, you get smushed. But aside from the lag issues, is these big world bosses have so much going on, because there's so many players piling in on them, you can't see a thing what they're doing. There's also a mechanic I think the Harpy boss has. It stuns you, and you need to press a key at the right moment in order to get yourself unstunned. And in theory, it would give you enough time to dodge out of the way of her big tornado attack. This is a lie.
Latency.
Yeah, this is a lie. Even if you even if I do the quick time events correctly, I still get killed by it. So it's an improvement to say that Bless is now a game that people might actually enjoy playing. But unless they sort out some of these issues, then I'm not going to be able to play it.
You really want to, though, in the end. Because, I mean, it's not like it really offers anything, special or unique.
No, it doesn't. Like, the story is non-existent, from what I can tell. It's, again, something dream, something big coming doom, something. Now, to be fair, I did skip like 90% of the story because I took one look at the writing that existed and just went, nope. So,
well, to be fair, even some good stories start off with, but the light and the darkness, and the king and the empire, and the crystals and the finders.
That's basically Final Fantasy, just all of Final Fantasy, really.
I mean, there are some good stories that are slow burners that start off pretty generic.
Yeah, generic is not necessarily bad.
Well, unless it stays generic, in which case that's pretty bad.
That is.
But the high school group and the god that they kill with the power of friendship.
Stop. Yeah, now we're getting into generic bad.
I mean, that's every Persona game.
That is every Persona game. Got to murder God with friendship powers. So yeah, that's 3 betas of 3 rather bad games. The only other thing I don't even have anime to talk about really this week. These weeks. I haven't even watched anything. Though I have had an urge to go back and play Professor Layton vs. Phoenix Wright again. I might do that.
Wasn't that one weirdly dark and they key magic in it at the end?
It was extremely dark. Like, I think at this point it's bad, but it can spoil it a bit. But they just like up and kill Maya and Layton halfway through the game. They get better, but yeah.
Yeah, like, I remember they play it really dramatically.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, no, these 2 characters, they're dead. And until we reveal that, no, they're not. But still, they're dead.
They dropped him into lava.
Well, they dropped Maya into lava,
As for all intents and purposes, to the reader, that guy is, them people's dead.
Yeah, Maya gets dropped into a witch burning pit, and Layton gets turned into gold.
This is dark.
It is very dark, even by Phoenix Wright standards. Like, Phoenix Wright it's very bright and colourful, but underneath it there's like, holy crap, what is wrong with this universe?
It's not like
Layton's a lot better.
Layton is a lot better.
I only played one Layton game, but it was that one which it was like time travel or whatever.
Oh yeah.
That's the only Layton game I've played, and that's where I get 100% of my impressions of Layton from. And let me tell you, they are not impressions that it is a friendly world.
Yes, it's Layton's lot in life is basically, ha ha ha, I'm British. Oh, hello, Cthulhu. And now you've played a Professor Layton game. You're welcome.
Oh, you also have to do a whole bunch of math homework.
Yeah, then there's just math homework in the way. Random people coming up to you in the street and, here, solve my homework for me. And then Luke turns up and he's all cockney and cute. So, yeah, I might play that game again because I did enjoy it a lot. It is actually probably a good wind-up for the Phoenix Wright game that just popped up on Steam for pre-order, by the way, which is the prequel one. It's Phoenix's ancient Japanese ancestor.
Who looks just like Phoenix.
Who is enlisting the help of, I kid you not, Herlock Sholmes.
That's not really trying very hard.
You're not even trying.
I have to be honest.
Capcom.
I mean, every single name in Phoenix Wright is like that.
It's always a pun. Every single one is a pun.
I will never forget, the most egregious one was at the start of the last game. Peace, Love, and Andy Standen.
Peace, love, and understanding. I love him. He was a glorious hippie nonsense.
And the game was all downhill from there.
Yeah, I admit I did not. It was okay, but it wasn't the best Phoenix Wright game.
I think you have to... That is just your love of the series talking. I like the series too, Fern. But that was a bad game.
Yeah. I mean, it's no Nickel Samurai case. I think that was the high point of the game. Of the series.
Nothing in it stands up to anything in Apollo Justice or in the third Phoenix Wright game. No. But it's just all awful. There isn't a single good case in the game. The only good case is a throwaway case that has nothing to do with the story.
Yeah, which was actually quite educational, and I really enjoyed it for that.
Why was it there? Was it just like, this is how he pays the bills?
No, it's called... It was there because they needed Athena to have a case.
Yeah, because she was just kind of a loose boondoggle for the rest of the game.
I thought she was like the gimmick, wasn't she?
She was the gimmick for the second in the Apollo Justice series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was in the fifth Ace Attorney game. But in this current game, she didn't have anything to do in the main story. So they just paired her up with the villain from the previous game and just had them have their little side adventure.
Yeah.
For one chapter.
Rakugo. It's like, let's just have this case about Rakugo.
It's the only good case in the game. It has nothing to do with the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's just like, let's just pause this plot and we'll go see what Athena's doing for a bit.
Yeah, just hang on. We're gonna take a 6-hour break to go tell an interesting story that's way better than what we're actually telling, and then send you back to the boring crap.
Yeah. So, yeah, it wasn't very good. And I'm sad, actually, because the first Apollo Justice game I really enjoyed. The second one was, and then the third was just, nah.
Well, I don't think it's fair to call these the Apollo Justice games.
Well, it's the Apollo Justice trilogy.
I know they're calling it that, but I think that's stupid.
Why?
Because Dual Destinies is not an Apollo Justice game as much as he has a key part of the story. He's not the focus.
That's the worst part about it, I think, is it's supposed to be the end of his trilogy, the end of his story.
And while the resolution for the last game that came out is totally like, oh yeah, Apollo goes back home and has to help set up the new justice system, yay. It doesn't matter because he wasn't in the story for most of it.
Yeah. He was not a participant in the ending of his own story.
So this calling it the Apollo Justice trilogy is so stupid.
Yeah, it's what it was supposed to be.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's because they crapped on him right at the end. And then Athena's just kind of there for the whole thing. So, yeah. But there's still some great stuff in the Phoenix Wright. I'd love to be able to play the Edgeworth games, though.
You can play the first one. It's been fully translated.
You can play the first one, but that's it.
The first one's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I think they're still doing that stupid less voice act the entire game for the Let's Dub people. So you can watch it. It's probably better for you.
I just let Nick voice act them.
Good for that.
That's in fact the only real block of content that I've seen from the Phoenix Wright games is Nick Ricata playing them. And let's just say that it's almost as frustrating as watching Gura play a game.
Oh dear. Because he just can't grab the thread of logic the game is trying to get him onto?
Yeah, because he's an actual lawyer.
Yeah.
So he looks at the case the way a lawyer would, not the way Phoenix Wright would.
I don't think anyone looks at a case the way Phoenix Wright would. Let's be fair there. Not without serious brain injury.
Can I get one more off? Nah, just Mountain Punisher.
So yeah, that I think will conclude my week.
Your week.
My week, because yeah, it's been bad. It's been bad. And hopefully I'll actually finally be free for the next couple of days. Although, actually, one more quick thing is I'm still slogging on with the green screen mystery.
What?
Green screen mystery?
Yeah, the mysterious green screen crash my computer's been having.
Oh, I see.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's usually a pretty dramatic video card failure, isn't it?
Yes, it is, except there's nothing wrong with the card itself.
I think it's just
it's your main board then.
No, I think I found it this time because I've been researching this thing for about a year now, trying to fix it.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, so now I've actually just replaced the power supply and rewired my entire computer. And it's been stable so far.
But can it play Minecraft?
Yes, so far. I'm not going to say the F word yet. Either F word, actually, at this point. Take your pick. But,
So we can go a couple ways with this.
Exactly. It depends on if it actually stays stable or not. What I ended up doing, though, is doing a bit of digging on how a GPU should be correctly wired. Now, 99% of the case, you can run, if you've got multiple power inputs on top of your GPU, you can run them both off the one wire and not have a problem. But if you overclock your card, that's when you need to look at running two separate cables to them.
Were you overclocking your card when you were having issues?
Nope. However, because it's AMD, and because they just love to mess with this stuff, I decided, you know what, I bet they've overclocked this thing out of the factory.
Oh, that's pretty standard. Every company does that.
Yeah, and I wish they'd stop it.
Because, well, it's necessary to a certain extent because otherwise the costs would go really high. Because when they finish grading the chips, they will just downclock any that can't make the grade and overclock the rest that are too low to meet the spec.
Yes.
Because there are just safety brackets. It's sort of like how when you buy a monitor, you're still going to get ones that have bright or dead pixels, simply because that's what the spec contains.
Mm-hmm.
And in the case of classifying their CPUs, which they're not generally made to be a particular thing, they're made to fall within certain constraints, and then they just adjust the clock speed to match everything else.
Yeah, to bring them up to or down to standard.
Usually when they sell something like where they are saying that it's out of the box overclocked, it's because they know that chip was already capable of more, but they didn't in the previous version have these sort of supporting components on the board in order to enable it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. I will say that nobody else seems to have actually tried this yet to fix this problem. So I'm in uncharted territory. What the hell?
Your Nathan Drake's games? Oh no.
Oh no. I mean, they were good to a point. Then Claudia Black, the fish person, turned up.
Did that like go through?
What's that?
Talking to myself.
Oh, okay. That's alright. Apparently on my space station there is a walrus somewhere.
Walrus.
A walrus. I
How
don't
did
know
it
what
get
this
there?
means. Why and how is there a walrus? Where is the walrus?
Isn't that
Anywho, roll your week, please.
I don't really have much to talk about. This week was audit week, so that pretty much consumed my attention.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't really do much of anything as far as leisure or entertainment's concerned. I just didn't have the free time. So I don't really have anything to talk about, to be quite blunt. There hasn't been like any additional movement on any of the anime I'm watching. I haven't played video games. I come home and I vegetate because I'm too tired to do anything else. But that is over now for the time being. We're in the blissful period between the auditors having departed and the auditors having sent their report telling us how much work we've got to do to get up to their standards. So for now, things should normalise a little bit.
That's something.
I'm still going to be busy, but I'm not going to be the last one at work, working into the late hours of the night and having to lock up every day anymore. At least I hope. So I don't think that there's much else to say. We're in a sort of a lull week for FGO again, thank goodness, because it's been a death march lately. In that it's the Meho So Most Foul event, which is a pure story event. There's no combat to speak of. It's not designed to have any. It's just a story event where you watch the various denizens of Kildare basically be their usual selves, albeit through the filter of them making a movie this time. The idea being that there's some stray ghost of a director had happened upon a fragment of a Holy Grail and had generated a singularity. And while the singularity could be left alone, because Kildare is always low on resources, they want to try and harvest the magical energy that's released when they manually close out a singularity. And the only way that they can think of to close it out is to successfully film the movie that the director regrets never having managed to finish. And so they basically are they get Murasaki to write a script for it, and then they set about filming the movie, except that Murasaki ends up accidentally poisoning herself partway through the beginning of filming, and so the rest of the cast is left there to just sort of try and method act their way through the story when the script wasn't finished, taking into account the fact that their director, who was also one of the actors, has now become indisposed. So it's just a silly detective story. It's certainly a bit sillier than the previous murder mystery that they did, but yeah, I enjoy having these events once in a while because you get full enjoyment of them without having to spend a bajillion hours grinding or killing Barbatos 216 times like I did last time. So,
You didn't have to kill Barbados 216 times for the last event.
But you
well,
did
I mean,
anyway.
there are lots of people that killed him more than that. But
I'm aware. I saw the counter. I got there just in time to kill him like 10 times before he died.
Why you bully Barbados?
because he's like loot pinata extraordinaire.
I see.
Yeah, dude drops like 500 to a million QP.
That's a lot of QP.
Yeah, I got several kills of him where I got well over 2 million QP. It's a very random number. I also got a couple of kills where I got about 6,000. So the amount that he drops is very variable. But yeah, there's those opportunities, you don't really want to miss them. I earned 200 million over the course of that event, which I desperately needed because I was deep in QP hell. But yeah. Yeah, I don't really have anything to talk about because the week was just consumed by work stuff. So a scenario which Fern is intimately familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, hopefully next week will be different. I know I say that a lot, but you don't get audited every day. You get audited once a year, and this is one of the larger scale audits because auditing of laboratories in New Zealand goes in a 4-year cycle. The first year is a big audit where they try and audit everything. The next year is just a surveillance audit where it's just mostly focused on paperwork traceability and just sort of eyeballing what people do. Third year, which was this year, is a technical audit of a particular segment of the scope of tests that you do, and the fourth year is another just surveillance audit, and then you go back to the first year. So we'll have a quieter audit season next year, and the year after that all hell will break loose again. So maybe if I'm lucky I won't be working there by then.
Hopefully.
Yeah, always hoping to find better work, but the job market doesn't really support it now because for some reason every government in the world decided it was a great idea to print their entire economy in dollars again.
I'm Dr. Fauci, and I'm here to
No.
tell you I got a solution to all your coof problems. If you just print 60% of the entire currency of your country that's ever existed all at once, there definitely won't be any inflation.
Something, follow the science.
Something.
Just trust me.
science.
Just wear the mask on your butthole, okay? It's just a science. Just trust me.
Oh boy. So now we've been cancelled. What do we do?
Well, I have to end my week here because I don't have anything else to talk about. I just haven't done anything. I would dearly love to have been playing Monster Hunter, but there was not the time of it. I did sneak in like an Izuchi kill here and there, but that's not really very much.
Yeah, I fell way behind on where I should be on Monster Hunter, unfortunately.
Aristiel, on the other hand, did a little butt.
Yeah, Fern said something right before I left. I was around, I just hit high rank right before I was going to Florida. And he goes, hey, I should slow down and let you guys. So I'm like, no, don't do that.
I didn't have a choice in the end.
I was like, please don't do that, Fern. That's a bad idea. I'm going to have a whole week down there where I'll just be putting together furniture and playing video games and be angry that I can't be getting work done that's going to come back to bite me in the butt the next week. Please keep progressing, Fern. Otherwise, I'm going to shoot way past you.
Yeah, and then life said, no. Just no.
Why you do this to me, Fern?
Because my life hates me.
Okay. Well, if all's really done with this week, I guess I can go through the 3 weeks I haven't been here.
What else can I do? And I already had to...
I know, I'm just
all
gathering
of
thoughts.
All of the backlog of stuff that I had to do, I purged last week when you guys abandoned me to suffer.
I'm just not used to you having an average week time. You usually have the longest one.
Yeah, well, I had to use it all up because usually my week is a combination of that week plus all the things that I've forgotten over the last 4 weeks. But because of the solo show, I was forced to hack up everything at once.
Yeah, that happens. Could be worse. You could have done what I did and played the KFC visual novel.
Well, I think I'm the only one who's done 2 solo shows now.
Yeah, I think you are.
I don't know if I've done a solo show yet.
Please don't. I don't think we need an entire 90 minutes of Dr. Fauci.
No, I don't think we need that.
I'll only get us canceled a little bit.
A little bit.
A lot of it.
There you go.
All of it. All the canceling. Okay, so I guess I'll run with it.
Go for it.
What did I do over these 3 weeks? So, work was quite heavy the week before last when I was not here. And there wasn't a whole lot I could do about that. And then I got the notification that I needed to go to Florida to put together furniture for my parents' new condo that they bought to have an active investment instead of a passive one.
You say furniture, but I see fish.
Yeah. So I'll inflict this monstrosity on the live show chat channel.
Oh, dare I ask?
If I can find it.
It's decor.
Yeah. When you think of the beach, Fern, think of the tackiest. Like you're a kid. You're going to the beach with your family. What is the tackiest thing in the condo your parents are renting that could possibly go on the wall?
Giant singing bass.
What's
That's
the
more of a
second
lake thing than
tackiest?
a beach thing.
Yeah, that's not really a beach thing. How about
that's just tacky in general.
How about one of the... Oh, wow, this picture's 14 megabytes. I didn't realize it was that big.
It's high definition tack.
Hey, you can see the tackiness in all its glory. How about that?
What is that? And why do I hate it so much?
Art, in air quotes. And it was a right pain in the butt to put together. You see every single place those fishes overlap?
Oh,
There's a bolt there.
It's art.
It's assemble yourself art.
Art.
With Chinese pictures on how to put it together.
Oh, naturally, because you can't expect the instructions of anything to be in English.
Yeah,
And it costs $900 dues.
It costs 900 buckarooskies for some aluminum fish.
I'm pretty sure I've seen something like that at the St. Vincent's store for like $20.
I didn't realize that the Vinnies took trash like that.
Yeah,
I'm sure you can find that at Goodwill for like $3. Oh, you get back here, you stupid electric dog thing.
But it's
I'm just gonna let you fight the electric dog. I hate the electric dog.
Sammy boy. Because
I was in. Yeah, so this is the reason I was given for needing to come to Florida with the family. Now they treated it as a vacation. I had crap dumped on me to put together whenever they felt like it or they remembered something they needed to put together. I did not get to enjoy this vacation at all. But the time I did have, I got to play a lot of video games, which I have not had time to do, and still don't really have time to do. But if you got the time, might as well use it, right?
Might as well.
So, played a whole lot of Monster Hunter Rise. Like, I played this game to hell and back again.
Yeah, like to the point that I'm fairly sure he's ahead of where he stopped playing World.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, valid for a joke about how I play video games, but it's
what
it's
joke?
A real thing.
When did we joke?
That's definitely a thing.
I don't remember any jokes.
How I play video games is a running joke because it's true. It's like the not a character folks. So when I play a video game, I'm going to play the video game. And so I played the heck out of the video game, and I'm like almost Hunter rank 50. And probably will be by the end of this show.
Aren't you like 58?
No, 48.
Okay.
So, yeah. Most of this was spent playing with the dual blades, although I did mess with Sword and Shield quite a bit. And have been trying to poke at Insect Blade because it is just so different than before. And that the Kinsect can actually hit the parts of the monsters in this game, so the paintball segment isn't as bad. It's still bad. I hate everything about playing paintball. But it's something that's actually playable now. but I haven't put enough time into it to really give it a full and proper judgment.
Well, you haven't put enough multiplayer into it. I mean, that's really where this game has always shone throughout this franchise. I mean, even like the stuff that we're doing now, where you engage a monster and hold it in place, and I go and fetch another monster and bring it here for you to ride, that's not stuff you can do by yourself.
Yeah, no, that's stuff that just kind of happens by accident in single player.
Yeah, usually.
Yeah, you just have to wait for a monster to show up. Usually when I use Stink Minx solo, it's to relocate a monster onto more favourable territory to fight it.
Yeah.
Like that mud centipede dude.
I think
like
yeah.
Fighting him on land is much, much easier than fighting him in the water. So just use a Stink Mink and pull him onto land. And then he can only use regular physical attacks for the most part.
Yeah. I keep him in the water sometimes if I'm having trouble hitting his tail, because his tail's in a consistent spot when he does his little otter back swim.
Mm-hmm.
When he's laying on his back in the water. But yeah, anyway. So I unfortunately gotta be pretty mean to this game. I don't want to be.
Well, considering I've done nothing but be mean to it for 3 weeks straight, I mean, I don't think it's anything new.
There's just a lot I think it takes a step back from and rolled with. So first, the most obvious thing is the wire bugs. Wire bugs are great fun for traversal, awful for fighting monsters. They're too clunky to use with their actual moves for every single weapon that I found. I'm sure some MLG pros could go well ascually me here, but shut up. Oh, we got his tail off already. That was fast.
Yeah. Well, I've been flailing at it non-stop. But I don't really much like the wire bugs in combat, even though greatsword moves are actually pretty practical. In fact, the most practical ones are the default ones. One of them is just a straight up, relatively quick buff to your attack power, but I still don't use it because I don't want the extra frames of vulnerability. And the other one is one of the best ways to get a little bit of air when you're a greatsword user. But it's just not. It's not safe. None of those moves are safe.
And
I know every move is going to have some. Every move is going to have some risk associated with it, but you're just opening yourself up most of the time because you lose control of your character while you are wire bugging, essentially.
Yeah, and for those of us that use faster weapons, we run into another problem where the wire bug has a much better use than any special move it could possibly come up with recovery. Because if we can unsheath and get right back into time on target, we're not doing the big hits or lining up for perfect timing. Our jobs with people like dual blades is to just keep time on target. That's all you really care about. If you can do your big combo finishers, great. It ain't that much better as long as if you lost like 10 seconds of damage, it wasn't worth it. So time on target's our most important thing. And the wire bug helps us do that with recovery. So doing any of the wire bug moves requires you to sacrifice a wire bug charge. Or two. And it's just wholly impractical to do so.
And also, the moves often have a slower recharge time than a natural motion wire bug does.
Yeah, there's a bit of variance depending on the move you use, but yeah.
You just got deleted, buddy.
I got carted in 2 hits. 2.
That is most rude.
Oh, I need to break his face because I need his gem.
Break his face.
But yeah, so I haven't found a single weapon where the wire bug is like, yeah, the wire bug moves are totally worth it to use in combat and make perfect sense. The longsword is the worst with its stupid counter and its stupid huge recovery time on it. I hate it.
The longsword is just atrocious this game.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate everything about that weapon.
But yeah.
I've never liked the longsword, but I've always assumed that it was for people who were only interested in styling on their opponent and have no interest whatsoever in fighting properly.
Yeah. But in previous games, if you just focus on styling on the enemy, you're going to get smushed. Not anymore. Not with this build of the longsword.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I'm okay. I'm alive.
Yeah, I think I played longsword in 3, and that was the last time I played longsword.
Yeah, I didn't like it much in World, but I hate it in this game. I really do. Dual Blades has been made... In general, I like most of the changes they made to it. knocking you out of demon mode when a monster is doing a roar was the best thing they could have done. But they also added a whole lot more crap that knocks you out of it to compensate. And that's really bad. Because when monster roars happen, you're stuck there for like 3 seconds holding your ears. Or longer. Unless you have earplugs. This was a problem for dual blades because when you're in demon mode, your stamina is constantly going down in world. And you'd just be stuck there watching your stamina drain to below dodge levels, and then you're in real trouble. But
you can Superman dive through roars in World. I haven't managed to successfully do it in Rise, so I don't know if you can or not.
I don't know if I did it by accident a few times, or if whoops, I was already on his head. Anybody nearby? Nope. We'll just go for the triple bonk.
Bonk.
But
Bonk.
yeah.
Bonk.
Bonk. But yeah.
Bonk.
And that's nice that it knocks you out of it now, so that you're not just sitting there draining your stamina while you're waiting to actually move again. Unfortunately, this means any love tap at all now knocks you out of demon mode. Used to be you needed a hard knockdown. Don't need a hard knockdown anymore. Any tap will knock you out of demon mode. And if you don't have Archdemon mode activated, that means all your demon mode moves disappear, and you go back to basic dodge. And that's not going to end well for you. Hi, Rathalos.
Hi.
But hi, Rathalos.
He didn't even want to help.
He just wanted nothing to do with you?
He left. He's like, you know what? I don't even care about you guys.
He could have showed up a bit of bro, but no, he just left. But yeah.
It's no
So-
Tsiyaku, that's for sure.
That's true. I miss CT.
Super
But,
fast, bro.
Yeah, in general, this makes playing dual blades still feel okay. Just the fact that you're not hit by roars is a big deal, because you're not supposed to be getting clobbered like I am right now. This is not how you're supposed to play dual blades. You're not supposed to get hit at all, because you're squish. But, yeah, in general, the weapon's fine. I can go either way. The changes go one way and the other enough, but I can at least understand why they made the nerfs that way. Demon Dance has been nerfed into the ground. Your signature move that you do in Demon Mode or Archdemon Mode when you tap both A and B while standing still. It does a whole bunch of damage. It has this wind-up dance where you swirl the blades around you and they do more and more damage until they end in this big combo finisher. There's no reason to use that button anymore. It has been nerfed to uselessness.
Oh.
It is completely worthless. If I sit here and mash light attack, I do more damage than Demon Dance.
That's bad.
Which I thought I was missing a system mechanic, and I have not gone to look it up yet, but I cannot see anything on the interface that would, be me missing a system mechanic here. There's his face. But, yeah. So, not too happy about that change, but it is what it is. They compensated by giving you a new heavy attack that you can slot in with your switch skill that lets you, instead of doing the horizontal spinny slash that you would do before and hit the monster a bunch of times while going along their side, you now jump up in the air and do a heavy slash from the sky that does a good chunk of damage, but if it hits, you get pogoed back in the air again, and then you can angle a downward strike, and if you hit them at the right angle from either their tail or their head, you can buzzsaw all the way across the monster, and this is the most damage per second on every single monster, period, and the only move you should be doing.
And it's so super satisfying when you do it right.
Yeah, you probably saw me doing it to What's-His-Nuts.
Oh, yeah.
So that's...
It was in World as well.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was, but it required a hill. You needed
Did
a
it?
slope or a hill to do it before.
Yeah, it was a jump attack.
You couldn't do it. You
I
couldn't
never
do it
played
from
it,
a flat
though.
ground. Yeah, you couldn't do it from flat ground before. Now you can do it from flat ground.
I'm not a dual blades person at all. I hate seeing those tiny numbers going up.
Yeah, I love dual blades because I like the feel of weaving between a monster's attacks and slipping my own in there and trading back and forth like that. That's just a lot of fun to me. But and I don't need to see the big damage numbers because the monster will fall over eventually.
Yeah.
So I really like the small weapons in the world. And yeah, it's okay in Rise. I know why they did it, because Demon Dance was overscaled on some monsters, particularly monsters where it could hit multiple parts at once with one sweep of the weapon in a dance. But it's really nerfed too far here. This is too far in the other direction. The weapon itself has a whole lot of new weird wonky quirks I'm not sure whether I agree with or not. I understand them, but they just feel kind of weird the way they're tacked on. Got his left or his right claw. But yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that weapon. Every other weapon I played, I don't like. And it's weird because in World, when I tried the weapons out, I at least could see how I could like this if I put the time in to actually learn it. In Rise, I don't get that feeling, and I can't quite put my finger on why. So, Sword and Board has been made so that all of its shield bash moves are less effective, but its sword techniques have been expanded, and they've replaced the basic shield bash to something that's just better. So, not sure what their deal is with that, but it's a thing. And yeah, I don't know. The other thing with World, moving on from the actual weapons themselves, because I can get stuck in the minutia of this all day, is the levels themselves. Just after coming from World, where the levels were huge and big and expansive, and like 5 camps per level, to these 1, maybe two extra camps per level. Whatchamacallit? Little baby levels. Everything just feels so small, and like nothing natural is happening. I'm just loading up a stage or an arena to go fight a monster, is what it feels like. Oh, Rathalos and Doug here fighting.
Just gonna sit back and enjoy that.
But well, we got to get to him so I can ride the Rathalos. Oh, I flew away. Dang it. But yeah. I don't like the exploration feel in this one at all. I don't like the permabuffers. I think they're a really stupid idea. This whole incentivizing, be sure you run around the map for 20 minutes before you go fight the boss. No, screw that. I'm just going to go fight the boss.
Yeah. I don't like them either. Like, I understand what they're trying to do, and I don't appreciate it.
I definitely do without it.
I don't like it at all. I think it's a boring and bogus mechanic that just adds busy work to the level. There's literally no reason for it being there. In fact, the game would be better if it was just not there. If these things were removed entirely. The maps are so tiny, I don't even know why some of them have camps.
Yeah. That seems rather pointless in a lot of cases.
Yeah, like the first map has a camp at the very top of the map and the very bottom of the map. And honestly, you don't need to fly to the top camp for anything. Unless something is in the top of the waterfall, you don't need to go to the top camp. Unless it's in like the wyvern nest or in the top of the waterfall, there is no reason at all to take that camp up there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's Toby. So yeah, I don't like exploring the world at all in this game because they're just too small. And the way the monsters encounter each other just doesn't feel like they're fighting each other. Or like they're monsters that are living in a world doing the thing. Kind of like what Vol was saying when he first talked about it.
Yep.
They're just kind of here in an arena for me to fight in and to beat them up in. And it's not something
it's fine if it's Kulu Yaku, because that's what he lives for.
Yeah, but he's not for something like Zenogre here. Like, this guy should have a proper environment. Or Toby. Toby was at home in the treetops in World. Here, he's just kind of tacked on to the map. He just kind of hangs out, shows up.
Mm-hmm.
I just, that feeling doesn't feel very good. I get that we're making compromises for faster load times, which are a good thing. It's the thing I'll praise Rise for the most, easily. And for the fact that we're on the Switch. But yeah, there's just a lot to be desired with compared to their previous outing. They did a whole lot of stuff right, and I'm very sad to see they've taken a lot of steps back like that. I really miss the Scatterbug thing. and I didn't think I would miss it as much as I do.
What now? Oh, scout
Scout
yeah.
flies.
scout flies.
Yeah, the scout flies. A scatterbug. I was thinking of the scatter nuts you get in your sling. And the names got mashed together. But I missed the scout flies. I think that was a lot more fun than just tapping right stick in once, then going to the marked spot on the map. You know, having the dumb hunting 4 minutes, finding the monster you spend at the start of every match was always fun, and had shenanigans that could engage you in multiplayer just fine without you having to do anything like weird and gamey, like put freaking perma buffers in the world. You know, we'll go explore your pretty map, we promise. Just don't tell us where the monster is right away so we can skip all of it.
Yeah, I found that despite the very small size of the maps, it's taking me a long time to find things because I just head to the monster and fight it.
Yeah.
Because
There's
I'm
no
afraid,
incentive to
like
explore.
when I did the licensing quests, like I'm not the greatest player, that's for sure. When I did the licensing quests, I was always quite pressed for time, which means like I just don't have the time to muck about looking for perma buffers, and that doing that sort of taught me the perma buffers are not as important as meeting your time requirements. So I'm like, well, how about instead of doing perma buffers, I kill the boss, and then I can kill another boss.
Yeah. And I think that's their idea was you would go to the boss, and as you're chasing it around, you would take paths that you learn where the perma buffers are to get little buffs to help you make the fights easier as time goes on. And that's all well and good,
I
but
try
it
to,
just
but that
doesn't
just
feel
feels
good.
like I'm not doing the thing that I actually want to do. I'm doing this annoying busy work. Like, okay, you can fight the monster at the next location, but you've got to sign all of these documents in triplicate first.
Yeah, it's just a whole lot of extra work. It's like you could do all that, or you could just get good and kill the monster.
Yeah.
And that's you're playing Monster Hunter. You want to just get good and kill the monster. So I think those are a step down. The old sling that we had to pick up stuff to chuck at the monster for 1 or 2 uses, or and the way it lets you latch onto monsters, even in Iceborne, I thought that was a little gimmicky, but it was still fun.
Mm-hmm.
That worked way better than these wire bugs.
Yeah, the wire bugs, they come off as a gimmick, and
Yeah,
they also I feel that they come off as sort of like a immersion breaking, all powerful gimmick too, because you can do basically anything. You can dangle from them in midair for no reason. You can use them to create a defensive web in the rampage quests. You can use them to buff your attack power as a great sword user. Like, it just, you wrap the wire onto your sword and it becomes stronger. Like, it can do all of these things, except you can only do them sometimes because arbitrary reason, and they are all gamey elements.
yeah. The bug needs to rest in its cage before it can do it again or something.
Yeah.
So it's just I don't like the wire bugs. I miss the old sling and the way it worked there, and the old grapple and from World. I think those worked a lot better. I hope in future we go back to something closer to that. Yeah, that's all I got to say on that particular front. Mounting monsters. I actually kind of like the way they do it now. I know it's way too heavy scale, but if you cut the numbers down a little bit, I think it would be just fine.
Yeah.
I think this would be I think I would enjoy this way of mounting monsters way more than the World way if they just tune those numbers a bit. They're just too high.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I can't separate my distaste for the mechanic from my distaste for feeling like I have to use the mechanic or I'm gimping myself.
Yeah, because it's just too much damage.
Yeah, like it's like I said earlier, I was going and rounding up monsters to bring them to Ari because I knew that doing that, taking a minute to go find another monster and bait it into the fight, would do more damage than I could do staying on target.
Well, yeah, it was a free 15,000 damage.
So I end up not fighting the monster because there's this obligatory mechanic that I have to do in order to be efficient.
Yeah,
and that's part of what I don't like about it. Like, if it was a more natural incidental thing that gave you a bit of a bonus, as opposed to something that, well, it's overwhelmingly powerful, so you need to go out of your way to try and accomplish it, well, I think maybe it would fit a bit better. But as it exists now, I can't separate, the mounting mechanic isn't actually all that bad from the mounting mechanic distorts the game around it.
Yeah, I think it comes down to just how much damage and how many materials you get from it. because you get an absurd amount of basically free mini carves.
Oh yeah, bit spray everywhere when you do it.
Yeah, if you get 2 monsters and you back-to-back mount them, that's at least 6 material on the ground. And you can get gems from that material.
It's not very common, but you can.
It's
I've had
1%.
it happen. I've had it
It's
happen one
1%.
time.
Yeah, it's not likely. It's 1%, but it can happen. So there's that, and yeah. Oh, you got a quest up. Oh, Rathalos. So we're playing while we talk on the show about it right now too. So if you see me temporarily get distracted to not die or to read what we're doing, that's why. So yeah. Oh, I need fire resistance for Rathalos. What else? Rampages.
Ugh.
I hate these things. I hate everything about them.
Yeah, it's basically it's the problem. It's the problem with mounting, except writ large. Like it's all about doing things that are not what Monster Hunter is about.
Yeah, it's all about using cheesy mechanics to get out a bunch of damage. And when you get the big horn blow at the end, then you can go fight the monster normally. But
it's a normal monster fight, except with no variation in terrain, and the numbers are all multiplied by 10.
Yeah, and you can't tell how well you're actually doing because all your numbers are screwed up.
Yeah.
Actually, oh well, whatever.
That
I was going to grab the capture stuff for the Rathalos if we were going to go get him because I need a Rathalos gem.
Does capturing increase your chances of getting a gem?
Most monsters have a higher gem drop on capture. It's like 3% instead of 1%.
Are you sure? I haven't checked the stats, so I didn't know that.
Pretty sure. Maybe I'm thinking of plates, but
Mm,
I might be thinking of plates.
might have to check that.
You go do your thing. I'm going to go and look at the stats because one of the things I love about this game, they included all the stats in the Hunter book.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't. As long as you've got the drop before, you can see it in the Hunter book, and even then, you can intuit what the heck the drop is if it's just one of the last ones left.
I need to find something I've actually gotten a gem on before.
Yeah, like the 1% thing is the gem.
Let's see. Zenogre. I've gotten a Zenogre gem before. High rank Zenogre Jasper. 2% on target reward. 3% for capture. 3% for broken part. 3% for calves. 1% for drops.
Okay, so he's even.
That's presuming that Zenogre Jasper is his gem.
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
that's him.
So yeah. I need it. No. Okay, also while running with wire bugs in this game, why is it so hard to control what direction I'm going?
I know, having looked down from the screen at my controller, that it doesn't care what direction you're holding the stick. And in fact, it seems to be more like if you want to change direction, you've got to viciously go way further on the controller than is necessary to change direction.
Yeah. You have to orient the controller to face the direction your character's running, and then adjust stick direction based on that or something stupid.
It's dumb and bad, and I keep doing it by accident.
Yeah, and you will accidentally wall run in this game all the time. Now, thankfully, I am partially immune to this because in demon mode, you can't wall run. So I don't accidentally wall run when I'm in demon mode.
I wonder if that's because people were testing it and they found that people kept wasting their demon mode on wall running.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I could see that happening. Oh my goodness. So yeah, rampages. Rampages, just every aspect of them is awful. Not a single good thing about them. I hate every minute of doing a rampage. And what sucks is most of the Apex bosses, all but one, and the one of the main final bosses are exclusive to rampages.
Mm-hmm.
So they are not just mandatory; they are the end game.
So you got to do them. But I can see an argument for them being less bad multiplayer, although I haven't tried it multiplayer yet. Still, but the idea of doing those
assign
solo,
multiple people to stun different monsters will probably make them not as retarded. But oh crap! I just fell all the way to the bottom of the map.
You left me with a fire-breathing dragon.
I'm aware. I will attempt to find. You know what? I'll try and get back
Poisonous
to you.
fire-breathing dragon.
I'll get back to you, Smalls. Just let me find a way to get out of combat.
I'm on fire and poisoned, and under attack by a dragon.
I don't know what you want. I fell all the way at the bottom of the map.
I just arrived and then got wombo comboed into oblivion by this creature. That's why I hate fighting Rathalos.
That's rude.
So, Rathalos still has the BS combo where he can two-shot you, and there's just nothing you can do about it.
He just decides, nah. He's done with your nonsense.
Yeah, if he does tailspin, fire breath, stomp, you're dead.
Yeah.
That still is in the game. I'm glad they didn't fix that.
No, he's always had that.
That is core to Rathalos' character. There is nothing you can do about this combo. It does an absurd amount of damage, and it just will kill you.
I really need to unlock the camps on this map.
Yeah, I don't find the camps to be overly necessary. They're just nice to have.
One in the top right on the lava map is the most necessary camp in the game to unlock.
Yeah.
Because
That's
it
one
has,
I don't have.
because it's a shortcut to the bottom of the map as well as everywhere on the top part of the map. So no matter where the monster goes, it has quick access to it. It really should be the default camp. Because everything is accessible from here.
Can't have that. That would be convenient. Can't have convenience in a Monster Hunter game.
I keep forgetting to go and kill the baby agnactors.
Quack, 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 quack.
So yeah, rampages in multiplayer. If you got multiple people who can man the ballistas, particularly to stun the monsters, it may not be as bad in the early phases. Because the early phases, while that you don't risk damage of significance to your base, it's something doable. Having somebody else there to just shovel coal into the wyvern fire bomb thing, so that you have a nuke occasionally ready, and if that's all they do, will be just infinitely more helpful than one person sitting there jumping between 30 things, waiting for them to naturally come off cooldown.
Also, there's a lot of stuff that you just can't use in practical terms because of the way the aggro works as soon as you step on a piece of equipment.
Yeah, you'll get the attention of anything nearby. Unless you put the taunty thing down, and that thing, I swear, only works half the time.
Well, aggro's always been like that in Monster Hunter. Do you remember that threat cloak you could wear in World?
Yeah,
And how effective that was.
Yeah, when I was first trying out Sword and Board, we tried to get me to use it, and it just wasn't working.
It didn't work.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember. It's Cobra over here. You're over there.
I need something that makes health. Ah! I'm not good at this game.
Fire resistance for the win. But yeah, I don't like them. They take too long is the biggest thing, I think, and they feel artificially long. I think is the best way to describe it. Like everything you do in them is contributing towards working towards the end monster. And the end monster, if it doesn't go down, is a ton of wasted time.
Yeah,
and
that's where all the rewards are.
Yeah. And the fact that they were so nice as to lock freaking one of the in-game bosses behind them, you're stuck having to do them. And I failed them.
I remember what it is.
Yeah, but
I just that's why I've avoided them so much, is that feeling of dread as I got toward the end of the rampage and it looked like things were going to go pear-shaped and that I would lose all the progress. Like, that feeling was so unpleasant that I just never went back into another rampage.
Yeah, it's also impossible to tell how well you're doing with the rampages. Like, because the last monster's going to get to the last door. It's just going to insta blow up whatever the first door is and go straight for the inner base. Where you likely don't have anything set up because you're one person and it took you 50 seconds to set up the defenses in the first half. So you probably don't have anything over there.
Yeah, it's
so
everything about it screams like, oh, this was someone's good idea and we didn't spend enough time trying to figure out if it actually works.
Yeah. Alrighty. we should move
So
on.
that's Monster Hunter. We can jump right into weeks, or I can keep going, or news, or I can keep going because we ain't got much for news.
Do you have news? 'Cause I don't have news at all.
I do
I
not
couldn't
have
find
news.
anything. I couldn't find anything worth talking about.
All right, I got a few things we can tangent on. Maybe we'll see. So other things I played. FGO was already mentioned. All I did was play the Case Files event. I got Gray, got her maxed out. Okay, cool, whatever. Not a good servant. Don't really care about Gray that much.
She's not a bad servant, but she's one of those characters that isn't a good servant or a bad servant.
Yeah, it's just kind of whatever.
Well, the thing is that she's a welfare, so she exists to fill a gap that is had by people who have had even worse luck than me on the gacha. So, or who are new.
Yeah. So that's fine. I just wanted her for completion's sake. I got her, so I don't have to play this event when it comes back around, which is good because it's a mission-based event, and I hate these. Even though this one was fairly easy, I still didn't want to do it. I hit a point in it though where I just couldn't get anything to unlock because I was doing this on an iPad with no computer nearby, and it was just too much of a pain to open a tab on my iPad to go look up what I actually needed to do. So I was just kind of killing stuff. There's nowhere good to hit this guy.
That phenomenon is actually an artifact of you binging it, because if you play it sort of semi-naturally and you hit all of the time blocks, that doesn't happen. Everything opens naturally.
Yeah, so
if you do it all in one go, you end up at the point where everything gets backed up.
Yeah, I did it all in Florida, so it was all like that. I didn't play it with any of the time gates there and wasn't burning natural AP just to play with what I had. But then I killed like a 5 bajillion health ghost of Robespierre, I think, and that unlocked everything. And then the event was K.
It's K.
It was K. Ooh, I got a tail.
Nice.
But yeah. So what else? Other games I played in Florida. Old school RuneScape.
Why?
Okay. You're me. You're stuck in bed with nothing to do. All you got's a Switch. You've already played Monster Hunter to death. What are you gonna do? Play more FGO? No. Play some old school RuneScape, baby.
Are you trying to spend quality time with your mother? What?
No, she's long quit. But I don't know. I just booted it up and just was doing some Slayer tasks. Was doing some stuff in the Motherlode mine, getting my mining up. Got some gems doing that. Use the ore and the gold ore and the coal to make some steel nails and some gold bars, and I turned that into some jewelry for my crafting, and I used that to do some construction in my house. Took the steel bars I made, turned it into nails. Went and chopped some trees, got some planks, got some nice wood planks that I used with the nails to build mahogany larders. Got my construction up. Like, it's such a chill grind, old school RuneScape. They really accidentally stumbled on the chillest formula with that game. It's the reason it was so popular back in the day, and I don't think anybody really processed why. Because it's freaking old school RuneScape. And you don't kind of think about this thing. But they really got a strong formula for just a chill grind going on. If you just want to chill out and do some grinding, old school RuneScape's there for you. It's got you covered. I mean, I understand that the listeners are currently listening to me defend old school freaking RuneScape, but
yeah, it's like this. My incredulity knows no bounds.
but I genuinely had fun with it. Just sitting there, just feeling how all the skills interweave with each other, and just chilling out, grinding, and seeing what they've done to make the experience a little better.
Feeling like a second-class citizen because you're not pay to play it?
Yeah, it did.
Oh no, I have Berserker rings for days. I can pay gold for my subscription. So, yeah, they brought WoW tokens in. It was their big concession to finally do the mass bot kill. Oh, proper turf war.
Oh,
Doesn't happen often.
Oh, Rethless fighting Angie. Oh, Angie baby.
Oh, come on. Anjaneth, we need your help here.
No.
If I get carted again, we lose.
No.
Let's go, Angie baby.
He's just going to ruin your day. That's what he does.
I got poison flame stomped twice.
Woof.
Oh, right, sure. Strong attack is ass girlfriend. I've just decided that all Anjanaths are female.
Okay. Is it because they're pink?
I don't. No, it's because I call them Angie Baby.
Right.
And also because they're pink. God, Anjanath is one of the worst monsters to try and ride. I forgot how bad she controls.
Yeah.
I missed Ricolos entirely and hit Anjanath.
But yeah. So I understand what it's like to try and defend the game like old school RuneScape because the memes and it's not a good game. It doesn't look pretty. It's just a grind game, but sometimes
No, it's hard to defend because people remember it. That's why it's hard to defend. Get this bastard off of me, I'm going to die.
Swinging.
All right. All right.
But yeah, it's just a fun time if you want to get yourself out there and just grind something. Take your mind off doing anything for a while. Go get your Slayer up. Go get your crafting up. Go to the mines. Go get some mining up. Go hang out with. Go buy a GF on the Grand Exchange. Like,
go get scammed by some guy in town. Then get PK'd.
Me will be trimming your armor for free. Right by the wildy. All you gotta do is follow me up a little bit. So yeah, it's a decent time.
Still good times.
I got more stuff I can tangent on to because I got a lot of weeks. But Fern sounds like he wants to move on from my weeks.
He's got to run on work. So
I got to run on work.
Okay.
Do we actually have anything that's newsworthy?
No.
No.
We got 2 newslets that I stuck in there because I was desperate to put something in there.
yeah, I looked at a bunch of news this morning, but all of it was pretty blah. It's like another person left Blizzard and founded their own studio. But like we've already covered that how many times now? And it's just happened again. Like rats from a sinking ship.
Yeah, there was the numbers that came out the other day that Blizzard's just right in the hole now.
I covered it last week, but
yeah,
you guys made me do a solo show, and then you didn't even do me the dignity of listening to the solo show, so you could suffer as I have suffered.
If it is icky to listen to yourself on your own show, it's almost as icky just to listen to your own show. I don't know. It just feels like I'm giving ourselves.
It's not your
fake
show.
views.
You're not on it.
It feels like I'm giving us fake views.
there is that.
Okay, I have burned all the way through blue and green sharpness already. Where's my dog? Ow.
Dog is best thing added to this game, honestly.
Yeah, this is.
Well, I think that it would have been better in World than it is in this game because it makes small maps feel even smaller.
It does.
Yeah. Because he's just a mount, basically.
Now,
He has combat utility and he does stuff, but he's just a mount.
Yeah, to be fair, World's maps had a lot of dead space in them, but you didn't notice that until you had actually pointed out to you.
It didn't feel like Dead Space once it was full of a Diablos or something.
Yeah, you're going to
that was
chase
dead
the
space
monsters.
by a different definition.
Well, those are necromorphs.
Oh no, there's zombies in there.
Well, you said Dead Space.
Oh no. That's disappointment in there is what that is.
Right over your ginger head. All right.
So, yeah, I do feel like the dogs really do add a lot to the game.
I like the dogs in. I would like the dogs in World. They work much better as a mount than the random monster mounting mechanic, but they need the Monster Hunter World-sized maps to really feel like that's justified. Here, there's no reason for a mount.
Yeah, they
at
just
all.
feel like...
Well, they do let you sharpen mid-combat.
Yeah. It also, but that's another thing. Like, they take all the strategy out of this. Like, I'm sitting here just going to run around in circles while I sharpen my weapon. Rathalos has no chance of hitting me. I'm moving too fast. Ow. You jerk. As he hits me.
Because he's going to do that, because he's a jerk.
Yep. So, yeah. I wanted to say a lot of good things about Monster Hunter Rise. I really did. I held off on getting this game because I was a little apprehensive about some of the things I heard, and mostly my Switch was broken at the time. It was just a whole bunch of things that stopped me from getting it. So I didn't want to be the guy that goes and hates on the game after they get it, but just it's not as good as World.
It's not. But I've harped on that at length for several weeks in a row, and it's the things about it that are good are the things that make Monster Hunter good. They are not things that make Rise good, generally speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all of the best parts of it are the parts that were already there in World, so World is better by that measure, pretty much.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
is a mid-generation game,
Interquel.
which are rarely better than the game that spawned them. The exception being Generations.
Yeah.
Generations is a unique beast, though.
As unique as Try.
More so. Generations just goes out of its way to celebrate everything old school Monster Hunter, and it's got nearly, well, no, not nearly everything, but it's got a good chunk of everything to hunt.
Yeah.
So, but it is still old school Monster Hunter, and that's going to turn a lot of people off.
There's one more thing I want to bring up about Rise before we really start closing out the show.
All right.
The lack of in-game.
Yeah, that is because the game was rushed.
It can be for whatever reason it wants. The fact of the matter is, once you beat all the missions, there's nothing else to do.
There's no end game.
In World, you can complain about how we never got attack gems. I got 2, actually, eventually.
Eventually. I think I got the third eventually, but...
I think I got mine through promos.
Yeah, I think that was it.
We complain about that all we want, but it added a whole lot of longevity to the in-game.
Yeah.
And that they're just... Forget longevity, there is no in-game.
Well, I never even touched the end game of Iceborne, and there was still a pile to do.
Yeah. Dang it, Rathalos. What are you... Stupid dragon.
Excuse me, it's waving.
He can be what the frick he wants. He was just bonking his head into the ceiling just now.
This Rathalos has issues.
Yeah, it's Rathalos' little SPECHIAL.
I don't think there is a short bus big enough.
You do need a really big short bus.
So yeah, that's just something I want to that's actually relevant to people. Comparing this game to World, I would still advise people get World if they're deciding on a Monster Hunter game and haven't played in a while.
Yeah,
or they're
I
new
think
to sitting.
Is the way to go, especially if they're new to Monster Hunter. I would definitely push them towards World.
Yeah, I mean,
it's much more friendly in the way it's structured. This one's very much, it feels like a mission pack full of anti-monster missions or something.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a story in there, but it's kind of an afterthought.
I started skipping it halfway through.
Let's face it, nobody ever plays a Monster Hunter game for the story anyway.
Dang it, Rathalos, I just crawled out of this hole.
People play it for that. The dang it Rathalos moments.
Like, Monster Hunter is about killing the monsters.
It's about hunting the monsters.
Which is why I'm so mad about rampages.
I do not like the rampages.
Yeah.
Maybe if
we'll have to try them with all three of us, and maybe they become more workable. But it still seems like
workable is going to be a clown show.
Yes.
It's going to be a whole lot of person X. What the hell are you doing?
It's like, where are you? I need you here now.
I'm over there.
There's going to be a whole lot of screaming and a whole lot of people angry at each other. That's what's going to happen in rampages when we do them. I'm just going to go ahead and foreshadow that now.
I really don't want to solo them. They're so unfun.
I know.
I've seen have said that they are more fun multiplayer, but that applies to just about everything, frankly.
Yeah, you can save a lot of otherwise unsalvageable garbage by just playing it in multiplayer.
Yeah, because pain shared is pain more tolerable. I lost my train of thought halfway through that. So
you almost got him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it's still Monster Hunter. There's something to be said where Monster Hunter is just fun to play in general.
And it is more Monster Hunter. Like, there are more monsters in here, and if all we get out of this is that they have more models and skeletons prepared for the next world scale one, then fine.
Not arguing with that.
Yeah. So I didn't want to be mean to it, but I needed to be mean to it. Rathalos, what are you doing, buddy?
All right.
He lost.
Anything else?
I
don't
have
think
anything
so.
else. It was a slow week.
Yeah, it
Yep.
was. We just got Sega that's saying they want to brush off their old IPs, but they keep saying that every few years.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Why don't you actually do it, Sega?
I think that the thing is that the big gaming news this week, from what I could see, was Resident Evil, and I don't really play those.
Yeah.
I do, but I didn't follow up with the news.
So it all seems to have fallen into a hole.
And I honestly, I don't like following Resident Evil news for new entries that are coming out. Kind of defeats the purpose of a horror game.
Yeah. Well, in addition, the only additional part of news to tack on to that, I suppose, is that Capcom managed to get like 3 million sales out of it in the first 4 days. So Capcom continues to do gangbusters.
They keep doing good. Doing good deserves to be rewarded.
Yeah, we can cry about Jill's bust size all we want, as long as they make complete video games. That's all I care about at this point.
Yeah. That's like 90% of what people are after really these days. It's just make a good game.
Not even a good game. Just finish a game.
Make a finished game. Don't overload it with microtransaction crap and people will be happy. Alright, with that then, we should probably start wrapping up, because I don't think we've got a whole lot else to talk about.
Yep, we're done,
No.
I think. Closing
It's one of
comments
those
go.
weeks.
Next week should hopefully be a bit better, because my death march and then slow death itself is hopefully over.
Thank goodness this Rathalos finally died.
Yeah, trying to talk in Rathalos at the same time is...
Yeah, it sounded like that Rathalos was broken.
Well, we did break, like, literally everything on him.
I got 3 scales.
I got
That's
a
what I
wing,
got.
a sack, and a scale.
It's not a bad haul. Actually, no, it's a terrible haul. Never mind me.
Yeah, I'm just hoping for broken part rewards at this point.
Yeah.
But
Gems.
we did break everything on him. So, okay. All right, folks. I think we're done. We will see y'all next week. And remember,
My name's Dr. Fauci, and I'm a liar, and you shouldn't listen to a word I say.
Oh, no.
And I funded Wuhan.
Well, I mean, he is a unique talent in the world in that he's the only man to have ever completely bungled 2 pandemics.
Sayonara. Bye-bye.